You know, I've recorded this audio twice already. I want to approach this from the correct angle. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and NBs, let's get into this. And if you happen to be a lost conservative, stick around because you might actually like what I have to say. If you're still capable of understanding rational thought, today we're going to talk about the state of the American government, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, conservatives as a whole, and the fact that America's closest allies are already engaged in a trade war, but also gearing up for a full-on boots-on-the-ground war from Denmark to Canada, from Panama to France. I simply ask for roughly 15 minutes of your time as I run through the catastrophe sitting on our global doorstep. And without any form of hyperbole, we find ourselves sitting in an America that far more resembles that of 1930s Germany than any of our current-day Democratic allies. I'm a nihilist, raised on violence. What do I do? I'm American Youth is a line from a song called Sick of It All by the band The Distillers, written by frontwoman Brody Daly and released in 2002. This record found its way into many of my playlists throughout high school and after, with this line ringing so true to my former edgy teenage anarchist self. As I've grown older, I've left my staunch anarchist beliefs behind, as we simply do not live in a utopian society where crime does not exist. Somehow we live in the worst timeline where all of these guys are somehow some of the biggest criminals to date. That's right, liberals, you're not escaping this one either. These days, I find myself falling very much into the socialist label, as I believe in a society that takes care of each other. The workers own their labor, not the corporate bosses. You do not have to pay a hedge fund for rent or a bank an absurdly overpriced amount for 30 years just to own a house, with the government still making sure you pay property taxes for the rest of your life, and so on and so on.
The American dream is dead.
No matter what you do, you will never really own that property in America. I come from a mindset of happily talking with anyone from any aisle, so long as this is a genuine conversation and not simply trying to tell me I am wrong because capitalism is all you've ever known. Now that that is out of the way, I'm sure that everyone knows that Donald Trump has been president for about 2 weeks now, on his second term, with a corpse filling the seat in between them. With Biden essentially running on Trump's 2016 platform, the Republican Party had to get pretty creative this time around, and it is debatable if they actually even won the election. We will get into this later in the video, don't worry. We can certainly all agree that America's two-party system is asinine and screws us all of true agency. However, with every day that passes, we see Donald Trump's administration attempt to gut the government from top to bottom, threatening the retired, disabled, military, and many more salaries with freezes or thousands of careers such as FBI agents. Various other attacks have been made on what we call democracy. The very first thing I wanted to get into as a hard topic is that this video will not be any form of liberal pearl clutching about the prices of eggs, gas, or any other daily goods skyrocketing in price over the past 2 weeks, even though they have, and the price skyrocketing has only begun. The Dow futures have already taken a nosedive. I can only imagine what the stocks are doing Monday, as this video is actually being recorded yesterday afternoon as you're hearing it. I do want to let Fox News, the Republican propaganda arm, speak for the Trump administration before I step away from this topic, however. I did have to source this video from the Midas Touch YouTube channel, another Republican media source here on YouTube. Check this out.
Alike, and thank God for Doge. They're looking at waste, fraud, and abuse. Just got access to Treasury payment accounts to showcase all of the fraud going on, billions and billions of dollars. They're already saving billions of dollars a day. We have to look at spending. We have to look at tax cuts as well. But it's very important. There are multiple factors that go into inflation. We have to recognize that and try to fight our way forward and grow the economy in a way that wages grow with the challenges we have ahead, and that people can afford eggs and gas again. We can't do that right now until we fix the system.
Yeah, we were just looking at a scrolling list of some of the products and companies that are going to be affected, and it seems like virtually every sector of the American economy potentially could be targeted by these tariffs, and the tariffs that Mexico and Canada have now announced that they will institute against U.S. goods.
So as goods start to raise by dollars daily with real potential to triple or more in price, that is if we can even get them, this fascist regime is posturing to invade Panama and Greenland while starving out Canada to force it into submission as a 51st state. None of this does any good for a single person here in America within these countries or affects any of our supposed enemies. Though Trump has applied a much smaller tariff to China at 10%, this is extremely weird to me, is it not to you? Speaking of China, this is the largest issue after prices with Trump's plan, as Trump pushes America's allies all over the world away from America. All Xi Jinping has to do while sitting in China is smile and nod to get the business and favors America will lose. With China being on par or better than America on just about everything except free speech and military might, it seems like Trump is hard set on putting a ticking clock on the board for the end of, quote, American dominance. Though I do also have to add, American free speech has been eroding by the day for many years. If you'd like to hear me talk about this in another video, I am happy to break this down in full, though I think the majority of you already know this no matter which side of the aisle you find yourself on, especially with Elon Musk's path of exile blunder a few weeks ago. Now, I did also want to add all of this evidence here and point you in a direction to do more of your own research if you'd like. But it has now been proven, hard fact, that Donald Trump did not win the 2024 election. This isn't a Bush v. Gore situation or a 2020 phony election was stolen type situation. Kids, ask your parents about Bush v. Gore if you don't know what I'm talking about. However, it is a newish beast, at least one we have not seen in a very, very long time to this scale. Numerous studies and reports have now came in stating that roughly 3.5 million U.S. votes, primarily from black and brown voters, were purged or disqualified from voter rolls all over the country. Most importantly, and in the highest numbers, votes that had the ballots been counted would have made Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia all turn blue and give Kamala Harris a 286 electoral college victory and a win in the popular vote by roughly 1.2 million votes. Take a look at this.
You're telling me 2,600 miles away, 2 days for an election, that if I want to vote, all I have to do is show up and prove as an American citizen that I have the right to vote again?
Is this an attempt to remove a lot of Democrats, black people from voting to win the election?
I am far from that, sir, and you have crossed the line.
And today to come out and not be able to vote and no one can give you an explanation, like, it's extremely emotional and it bothers me. It bothers me to my core.
I've already said that the Democratic Party is by no means a good option. In fact, I think the Democratic Party is now equivalent to the 2008 era Republican Party.
Do not come. Do not come. The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border.
That said, I'd take a Mitt Romney over a Donald Trump any day of the week, even if these trickle-down douchebags set the stage for what we currently have. In closing, I am genuinely scared for my neighbors, friends, my mom, and even the world as a whole. As we set on the precipice of fascism, I do still plan to be a video game-centric channel, though oftentimes there are much more important things to talk about. My name is Nolsey, and I make videos about things that I find interesting, or in this case, absolutely terrifying. Like the video, and I'm not going to tell you to kill Republicans, but I am going to show you a sweet song my band wrote when I was in college during the outro. The message speaks for itself.